Hey there guys, it's Jesse, and today we're going to take a look at the Omnotron Defense System, one of the first bosses of Blackwing Descent. This is an interesting boss fight because while there aren't any particular phases, there are 4 different bosses with 4 different ability sets, and different combos of each boss will be up at different times, and yada yada yada. So yeah, it can be a little bit confusing. I'm going to try and make it as easy as possible to understand. When you first see the boss, you're going to notice there's only one up, and there are 3 golems just standing there in the background, and a big, giant head. The head really doesn't do anything, it's just there to be a head, and it shoots little laser beams out of it that will activate the golems, which are what you actually fight. Now, the way it works is that when you engage, you will only fight one golem. However, you'll notice the golem has a stored energy bar that is at 100 of 100. When you attack, the 100 will slowly tick down, and when it reaches 50, another golem is going to spawn and join the battle. Again, it's totally random, but you will be able to tell which of the golems is going to come based on the type of stream coming out of the giant head. So if it's green, it's toxic. If it's red, it's fire. If it's this pink and purpley thing, it's arcane. And if it's electric, well, it's electric! When the new golem is brought into the battle, the original golem will raise a shield. At this point, all the DPS need to stop damaging the first boss and move to the second. The different golem shields reflect or absorb or do all sorts of different things. Either way, it's bad. Do not hit them, I am warning you. Eventually, the first golem's bar will reach 0 and it will turn back into stone. Now, at almost the exact same time, a third golem is going to spawn. Once again, everyone gets off the currently targeted golem and moves to the newest one to avoid the shield. And of course, the cycle repeats over and over and over and over and over. Now, it's not a hard concept, not a hard fight. You just need to know the mechanics for each golem and survive. So, let's go over them. The first golem we're going to talk about is Toxsa Tron. Toxsa Tron is the green golem. He has 2 abilities and his 50% shield. The first ability is Poison Cloud, which will launch a poison gas cloud somewhere in the room, and anyone that stands in it gets a debuff that increases all the damage you take by 50%. So, get out of it. The good news is, it works on the boss too, so when you see this, whichever golem your DPS are currently on, move that golem into the cloud ASAP. The second ability is Poison Protocol. What it'll do is spawn 3 little slimes. They're going to target 3 random people, and if the slimes reach the target, it's 100k damage and a giant poison slime pool. It's not good, insta-death, all that stuff. The best strat is, if you're targeted, kite them around. If you aren't targeted, kill them quickly. Now, Toxsa Tron's shield is a poison-soaked shell, which offers a stacking dot on the attacker. So, while you're attacking, you get a buff to damage, but you also take damage yourself. I really don't think it's worth it to keep damaging him, because basically what's going to happen is you're going to take too much damage and your healers aren't going to be able to keep you up, and the tanks and everyone else taking damage, so just avoid it. The next guy is Arkana Tron, the big purple guy, and probably the weakest of all the 4. He has the same 2 abilities and 1 shield setup as well. In fact, you know what? They all have it, so I'm just going to stop saying that right now. His first ability is Power Generator. What this does is it leaves a magenta, whitish, swirling vortex on the ground. All you have to do for this is make sure the boss doesn't stand in it and that your ranged DPS and healers do. What it does is it gives damage boost and mana regen. The next ability is Arcane Annihilator, and what this does is it targets 1 person in the raid. It's a short time cast spell, but it's interruptible. And while it does damage, if you interrupt it, it should not be a problem at all. And his shield is called Power Conversion. What it does is it causes the boss to generate a stacking buff every time you hit him. However, if you're feeling kind of dangerous and like you want to live on the edge, and you're a mage, what you can do is hit him, and hit him, and hit him, and hit him, and then steal the buff from him, and you become like a super power mage. However, you're taking your chances there, and I'm warning you, I would wait until, you and your group sort of understand the fight and have gotten it down a lot before you go and try to live in the fast lane, we'll say. The next guy is Electron. He has the same 3 ability setup. The first is Lightning Conductor, And what he does is he puts a debuff on a target that will explode this lightning AoE damage into any raid members nearby. So the idea is get away from the group. The next ability is Electrical Discharge, and what it does is it's this damage, sort of chain lightning ability that attacks one person, then bounces to everyone else. So, spread out. You know what? In fact, unless Arkana Tron is up and you need to stand together for the power generator, for this guy, everyone should be spread no matter what. Finally, the Unstable Shield ability. If you hit it, it does massive AoE damage, so just don't. Get off this one right away. The last of the four is Magmatron, and this guy's the red one. His first ability is the Incineration Security Measure. What it does is it shoots AoE fire damage all over the room. You just have to heal through it. The next ability is the Acquiring Target ability, and what it does is it shoots a red laser at one of the raid members, and this is basically giving you the time to get people out of the way, because what it does in a few seconds is it shoots a giant beam of fire at that person. And so that person needs to, 1, be alone, and 2, make sure that no one is in the path of that fire blast, either behind or in front of the person who it's targeting. So yeah, it does a ton of damage. You want to be the only one to take that damage. And finally is his shield ability, which is this absorbing damage shield that explodes if you damage it enough. So again, don't touch it. And that's pretty much all you need to know for this fight, guys. I mean, I wish I could say there was some grand strategy to the fight, but there's really not. All you need to remember is that if Toxsa Tron is up, move the current boss you're attacking into the green gas cloud and avoid the slimes. If Arcana Tron is up, ranged and healers get into that swirly power generator. If Electron is up, everyone spread out. And if Magmatron is up, everyone get ready to heal. That's it. It's not a hard fight. It's more about personal responsibility and doing your job than any real sort of trick or strategy. So it just takes enough practice for everyone to see and learn what they're supposed to be doing. Remember, if I can do it, so can you. Anyway, that's it for the strat, guys. So here is the boss kill for the Omnotron Defense System. And that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. Thumbs up, subscribe, and as always, to be continued.